I am a 28-year-old lady here in Malawi. I have a friend who also happens to be my business partner. The nature of our business is simple. We loan people money and set a clear date for them to pay us back, with the interest rate depending on the agreed upon repayment period. About 3 months ago, a man came to us asking for a loan. He was a teacher by profession and he wanted to borrow the equivalent of $115, which is 200,000 in my local currency. So it's quite a significant amount here. He promised he would pay us back in just a few weeks, stating the interest would be calculated based on that short time. We agreed and signed the contract without asking for collateral. The few weeks passed, but when we asked him for the money, he just kept promising to pay without actually doing it. Since the due date had passed, we informed him that the interest rate had changed. It was no longer the reasonably fair rate. It had transitioned to a penalty kind of interest, charging him for every passing day. He agreed to these new terms. Now, 3 months later, the money has accumulated to $1,384, which is about 2.4 million, and he's still not paying. A few weeks ago, he started insisting he should only pay $288 instead of $1,384, arguing that the full amount was far too much, despite having previously agreed to the terms. We refused. We told him clearly that it was not our fault that he let things get out of hand the way they did. After that, he stopped showing any signs he was even planning to pay us back. So, one day last week, my friend and I agreed to go to his house and confiscate some of his things. We did this to motivate him. The idea was that he would have to come and get his things back if he paid us. We carried out the plan and decided to keep the items in my house. With that done, I went to bed. The next morning, I discovered that the things we confiscated were no longer in my house. I immediately got worried because if the man found out his property had been stolen, it could have caused problems for us. But then something wasn't quite right. Everything that was mine and valuable enough for a thief, things like my TV, my decoder, and anything else of value, was all still there. This was completely confusing to me. How could a thief only steal the belongings of the man who owed us the money? I kept asking myself if maybe they ran out of time and that's why they didn't take anything else, trying to make sense of it all. That was strange, yes, but not impossible. The truly impossible part was this. I found the keys right on the door where I always leave them, and the door was locked from the inside. There were no signs of forced entry. I checked the windows. They were all intact with no broken glass or bent burglar bars. It was like the things had simply vanished. I got goosebumps all over my body because all of this felt deeply wrong. I immediately called my friend and explained what had happened. She was surprised too, but not nearly as shaken as I was. She convinced me that the man we got the goods from must have had something to do with the whole thing. So we went to his house again to confront him. When we asked him, he claimed that we went there in the middle of the night and gave him back his things. My friend and I just looked at each other confused. The two of us? And he said, yes, both of you. I genuinely did not remember even talking about returning the things, let alone actually giving them back. Plus, neither my friend nor I have ever sleepwalked in our lives. Even if we had, there was no way we could have managed to carry out such an impossible task while asleep, so we knew he was lying. We figured he somehow made his way to my house and stole the items from my possession and put them back in his house. We caused a commotion there and ended up getting the things back from him and going home with them for the second time. This time around, I made sure to double check that the doors and windows were locked, and I hid the keys so he wouldn't have any way of getting back into the house. I slept fine throughout the night. Come morning, the things were gone again. That's when I knew that something more was going on here. I called my friend again and told her it had happened for a second time. We went to his house again. We could clearly see the items we confiscated back in his house. But how? When we asked him to explain, he would only say that as far as he was concerned, we had already confiscated the things and he and us were square. We tried to argue with him, but he challenged us. He said that if we wanted, we could confiscate the things again, but it would be pointless since the things would just get back to his house anyway. Seeing the nature of the events, we decided to back down. We were obviously dealing with something out of our depths. Up to now, he hasn't paid a dime. We have tried going to witch doctors, but they all keep refusing to help us, saying the man is way too dangerous even for them. Right now, we just don't know what to do, but we still want our money back.